Hey there, I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Now, the US President Joe Biden has lashed out at Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi. In fact, he has expressed solidarity with Iran's protesters, especially the women, in his UN speech at the ongoing UNGA. Biden's reaction was in response to the massive Iranian protests. This after the alleged custodial death of Mahsa Amini, a young Iranian woman.
Today, we stand with the brave citizens and the brave women of Iran who right now are demonstrating to secure their basic rights.
Interestingly, Joe Biden also addressed the negotiations over the Iranian nuclear deal. He said the US is committed to returning to the agreement if Iran starts complying with its stipulations again.
The United States is clear. We will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon.
The president also endorsed a Palestinian state alongside a secure Israel and expressed support for the truce in Yemen. Now, it should be noted that the UNGA showdown between the United States and Iran was triggered by Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi went on a lengthy tirade against the United States before Biden's speech. Raisi spoke for around 35 minutes. This, by the way, is well over the 15-minute limit set by the UN. Iran's president slammed the United States during his UN speech. He accused the country of creating the Islamic State, this by using a weapon of mass destruction on Iran via sanctions. He began his speech by accusing some countries of double standards when it comes to criticisms of Iran's human rights record. Clearly, this was a direct jibe at the United States. Raisi cited reports of migrant children being put in cages by the US government to this end.
حق جوامع بومی کانادا که فرزندانشان به جای کلاس‌های مدرسه در گورهای دسته‌جمعی حیات مدرسه دفن شدند. حق تعیین سرنوشت ملت فلسطین، حق توسعه ملت‌های تحت تحریم، حق حیات ملت‌های تحت اشغال یا قربانی تروریسم، حق زندگی آوارگان بی‌پناه که کودکان را در قفس‌های جداگانه از مادران و پدران خود محبوس می‌کنند، همگی نشان می‌دهند که جایگاه مدعی و متهم در مسئله حقوق بشر نباید جابجا شود و اینکه ناقضان واقعی حقوق بشر شایستگی اخلاقی لازم برای اظهار نظر درباره حقوق بشر را ندارند. نقش بی‌نظیر ایران در نابودی داعش که فقط یک مورد از جنایاتش این بود که زنان کرد و ایزدی و مسیحی را به بردگی می گرفت، کفایت می کند که نشان دهد ما در جایگاه مدعی و مدافع حقوق بشر هستیم و حامیان داعش در جایگاه متهم قرار دارند.
Throughout the speech, Raisi slammed US foreign policy. He referred to civilian deaths in Yemen, Iraq, and even Afghanistan, and the 1953 US and British-backed coup in Iran. Moreover, Raisi also credited Iran's role in defeating the Islamic State. Interestingly, he omitted others who fought the group, such as the US-backed Kurdish forces in Syria. In fact, Raisi accused the United States of creating the IS. At one point, Raisi held up a picture of the late Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani. Now, Soleimani is the same man the US killed via an airstrike in Baghdad in 2020. Raisi specifically called out Trump for authorizing this operation.
تاریخ معاصر ملتی مظلومتر از فلسطین و ظالمتر از رژیم اشغالگر قدس به خود ندیده است. رژیم صهیونیستی که بیش از 70 سال آپارتاید، تجاوزگری، کشتار زنان و کودکان منطقه را در کارنامه سیاه خود دارد، بزرگترین زندان روی زمین را در غزه برپا کرده است.
Now, much of Raisi's speech focused on the Islamic Republic's anger over the Iran nuclear agreement as well. Referring to Donald Trump's 2018 exit from the nuclear deal, Raisi said, and I quote, "We saw a new phase of criminal behavior against humanity." Raisi has denied the West's allegation that Iran is seeking to build a nuclear weapon. In fact, he criticized what he said was lopsided scrutiny of Iran's nuclear activities, while other nations' atomic programs remain a secret. It should be noted that Raisi's speech comes at a sensitive time in Iran. Israel's shadow war against Iran continues, one that's believed to be behind the killing of Iranian nuclear scientists and sabotage attacks on Iran's nuclear program. Meanwhile, Western sanctions have eaten away at Iran's reserves. They have exacerbated inflation and devalued Iran's currency against the US dollar. Economic protests too have flared up and are met with lethal force. Not to forget the most recent protests where protesters have clashed with police in cities across Iran. These protests have been sparked by the death of Mahsa Amini. As I told you earlier, she was a young woman. The 22-year-old was held by the morality police for allegedly violating the strictly enforced dress code in the Islamic Republic of Iran. It's not surprising why the US-Iran tensions have now spilled over and dominated this week's gathering of world leaders at the UNGA.